Thanks for the stadium suggestions in the comments of the first video. They make up most of the stadiums in this video. So here are another 10 small but incredible football stadiums in Europe. Pancho Arena. It's not the first time it's been mentioned on this channel, but I have no problem mentioning it again because it's perhaps the world's most beautiful stadium, both inside and out. But particularly the interior, with its ornate wooden-lined roof that makes it look more like an elegant church than a stadium. And the exterior is almost as good. It looks like it's from a fairy tale or something. It's probably the only stadium in the world where I'll gladly sit and watch the stadium for 90 minutes. If there happens to be a match going on, well, then that's just a bonus. Estario di la Serra. I like when architects look outside the box, but it's even better when they look inside the box for inspiration. The jigsaw puzzle box, that is. From some angles, the stadium looks like some sort of art installation. But the colourful exterior in the metaphorical sense is matched by a colourful interior in the literal sense of the word. The light towers are also very unique. Oh, and if you follow this waterway for a little while, you reach another extraordinary stadium. But it's not small, so I should move on. Albania Stadium. Well, I was intending to stick to stadiums with a capacity of under 20,000, but I'm willing to bend the rules for this spectacular stadium. It serves as Albania's national stadium, as well as hosting some club matches. It has an extravagant mosaic facade, which is carried over into the interior, to a lesser extent. Speaking of the interior, how good does that look? But no matter how good it is on the inside, the most remarkable feature of the stadium has to be Albania's tallest skyscraper. Estario Cinegalia is situated right by the world-famous Lake Como, which is the home away from home for many celebrities, including Brad Pitt, George Clooney, George Lucas, and even the guy who sang that song about the one-pound fish. I've got to be honest, I expected that it'd be a one-hit wonder, but he just keeps banging out the hits. Back to the stadium. It certainly has seen better days. It does need a bit of TLC. But hey, even if it was just a field and a couple of deck chairs, I would have still probably included it. What a location. Stade Joseph Marion. This one is a little bit different. It's by no means flashy or modern, but it's the small quirks that make this stadium interesting. Firstly, it's surrounded on three sides by a forest, which makes for a more serene atmosphere. And from the side that's facing the street, you wouldn't even be able to tell that there's a stadium there, because the frontage looks more or less the same as the surrounding buildings. So this stadium is like a sanctuary in the middle of the city. Stade di la Malagia. Not to be outdone by the Italians, the Swiss have an even better stadium built right by a lake. And something that isn't visible to the naked eye is that it sits right on top of a shopping centre. The one in Como definitely can't say the same. Another interesting feature is the lopsided roof canopy, which allows for some views of the mountains. The interior red walls look fantastic, but they're not quite on the level of an Albanian mosaic. Stadion I'm gonna struggle to pronounce that, so I'll hand it over to my associate in Ghana. Thank you, sir. It's part of a larger sports complex that includes a swimming pool and indoor tennis courts, in this attached section here. It's quite an interesting design. As you can see, the stadium has an open end that rolls right onto another field. which actually is a small stadium in itself, technically. I can't imagine there are many closer stadiums than that. Actually, I wonder if we can measure the distance. Let's see. Wow. Having an open end also allows for some decent views of the surrounding hills. Situated in the English countryside is Adams Park, a simple yet beautiful football ground. It's home to the Wycombe Wanderers, who were famously promoted to the championship for the 2020-21 season. But it didn't go so well, unfortunately. It's a very picturesque view that you have from your seat. Actually, wait a second. Play that flute song. No. What the hell was that? It actually sounded good, but I meant the one that, the one they play, when it's morning time. Yeah, okay. From your seats, you're greeted with an exquisite view of the farmland, made up of green rolling hills, the trees, the power pylons, and the car park. Yes, I know it's pronounced Wickham, but Wycombe just sounds way better. Thank you. It's another spectacular Hungarian stadium, except it looks a lot more normal than Pancho Arena. It is still rather unique. The design is interesting because despite having seatings on just two sides of the field, the stadium is still fully enclosed, due to large concrete walls behind each goal. Despite being just walls of bare concrete, I actually really like the way it looks. The exterior also looks great, and I noticed that they included a nice little nod to the club's shirt, which has the diagonal stripe going across it. I like things like that. Stadion Juliska. Now, I know a lot of people hate running tracks, but I think the incredible panoramic view of Prague and the adjacent hills and woodlands more than makes up for it. And most of the seating is facing that direction due to the relatively large main grandstand. Speaking of which, the way it's been built into the side of the hill and is crowded by trees looks great. Also, if anybody knows this guy, I'm free to do some house sitting anytime. I really like this stadium, there's something about it. And that's it for today's video. Should we make a part 3 or move on to somewhere else? Or both? We'll probably move on to Latin America next, so if you have any suggestions for that, please leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching, have a good one.